Hello, friends! Welcome once again to our regularly scheduled COGG Let's Play of the month. It's been a little while since I've been online. Let's see, because it was last month we did the what is it, CSCC? Is that what it is, Wes?
Well, we did kind of a collaboration of different COG games for sure.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was. It was a COG Games highlight. Yeah.
Right, and then we did some, we were graciously able to get some of you guys from Columbus State to join us in our prototype and play, which happened earlier this month on the second Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of really cool COG games.
The week before that, or the month before that, so that was November, and in October, did we do an October one? Or no, that was Deep Rock Galactic, and that one had all of the technical difficulties. That's right.
Well, it had all the Halloween stuff.
Yeah. That was because I was trying to host the game and also stream the game, which was
it's a very hardware intensive game too to try to stream.
Yeah,
because we got to a point where it just
that was a mistake. But anyway, hi, I'm Caleb. This is Wes, and we are two of your COG admins. We're doing what we can to continue to. I don't even want to use the word build a good community, because frankly, there is an awesome community here in Ohio for game devs, and frankly, we don't have to do a whole lot of work to do a lot of building, because y'all are awesome and so much fun to work with, and we just get to show up and enjoy it most of the time because you're so cool. So we love getting to see all of your ideas. A lot of really great active conversations in our Discord. So it's been fun, just really fun to see all of that and see all of the work you are all doing. So thank you for participating and for making COG amazing for all of us. Not to say that we don't do any work. And I know this guy over here, Wes, does a lot of work to make COG happen. So thank you, Wes.
And a side note, one thing I'm really proud of this community and be a part of it is that you guys have definitely really kicked it out of the park for this year in terms of either updating your games that you guys have already been working on and or just creating new content, and we see it all the time. We appreciate it, and I mean it's for you guys, right? I think that it's really cool just to see so many new games coming out, everybody kind of working and showcasing their work, because it's what makes this really kind of fun, is that we get to see some new content, some old content get updated, and just continuation of things. So keep it up. We're excited to see those things, and then we'll kind of note this later, but if you guys want us to showcase those things, you can go to our website at thecog.com/games. And you can get promoted there too. So, but yeah, thanks so much. It's been a really cool year to see everybody's progress and growth. If you know anybody else, welcome to our community.
And even a couple people picking up old projects and updating them and bringing them forward. I know two actually come to mind was, big shout out to Duke. He's been working on Prepare for Warp, which is a game I've really enjoyed playing. Yeah. So just that's a little bias there on my part, but I just really have enjoyed that game a lot. But also Tom picked up Multivarious's game Hatchet, right? And kind of updated it and brought it forward.
Yep.
So yeah, new games, continued progress on current games, progress on old projects and updating them. It's just been a ton of really great content being generated. I've seen Unity assets being published to the Unity Asset Store, and just all kinds of really neat ways. Lots of art. Art channel's been really great, sharing screenshots and things. So just so many. It's inspiring to me, and actually, it's inspired me to pick up an old project of mine and start working on it again, which has been really fun. So thank you to all of you, and this is a super chill Sunday afternoon where we're going to play a super chill game. A holiday cheers to you all for being such an awesome community to work with.
Just got water, but cheers.
I've got coffee, but it's caramel flavored.
I had pumpkin spice. It was a Christmas gift. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's one of those things you kind of do a couple times a year, maybe, but it was nice. It was very nice.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I
good
usually drink my
work.
coffee black, but the particular coffee that I have does not taste good at all black, so I started adding creamer to it. um, yeah. Anyway, so thank you all of you. Let's. Do we want to move over to our game?
Sure. Yeah. Tell me more about SantaCraft.
All right. So we're going to talk about a game called SantaCraft. So the what the premise of our show usually is, and you all know this, is we like to take a game. Usually we try to get a vote out for everybody based on some kind of topic, and people suggest games, vote on games, and then we'll play them and we'll talk about their design. And as a exercise in strengthening our own understanding of design. So this month, it's holidays. Everybody's got a lot going on. I had a lot going on. Obviously, like, I'm in a different environment. Usually I've got ye old green screen and like actually have, invisible background or whatever. What featured today is a quilt made by my grandmother. And another quilt. Well, this is I don't know, is it a crocheted blanket, I guess? I don't know if it qualifies as a quilt or not, but this was made by my wife, and mostly those are covering up boxes behind me, because we moved, we're in a different location now, so...
It's a very seasoned chill
very
vibes today.
Yes, very seasoned chill vibes today. We had some good Christmas music going at the beginning of the show and everything, so... Yeah, so I kind of threw out there the idea we could do like a themed game of some kind. And interestingly enough, and Wes pointed this out, that actually themed games specifically for Christmas, and I'll bet even like way more so for like something like Thanksgiving or other holidays, very rare actually. There are not tons of these games out there, which, I mean, that makes sense. It would be a little bit of a niche appeal, like just by default. Weirdly, some horror games out there, say like the Christmas flavored horror games.
Yeah,
it's a lot more common to see.
Or whatever.
Yeah, Krampus. Yeah, it's a lot more common to see like holiday themed DLC or like short term events and that kind of a thing. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at a very much holiday inspired game called SantaCraft. So this game is created by Milkbag. I should have looked up if they have made anything else. I think I actually have their Steam store page open. So this game was launched in December 2020, last year. It's a year old. And actually, it's still being actively developed. At least it was actively developed as of a couple of days ago, because they launched an update to it. They added a new mechanic, which was really cool. Who knows if they're going to continue doing more work. Yeah, they updated it December 2nd.
Yeah, it looks like they did another couple of games, one called Potion Pipeline, Future Grind.
Yeah, Future Grind is the one, yeah.
Sidewards. So they've done a couple things. Yeah, they're popping for sure. That's cool. Yeah, if you go to milkbag.me, you'll find a lot of their information.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So yeah, they're an indie studio, and oh man, you know what I really should have looked up? I bet I could. I'm gonna go to Wikipedia. You're not gonna see me doing this. No, I'm just gonna see if SantaCraft has a Wikipedia page. They do not. I suppose it makes sense, but I was trying to find out, because Wikipedia usually lists what engine it was made in.
Oh.
Yes, what engine they're working with, because that's always fun. I mean, we have lots of conversations here at COGG about tools, right? My phrase is not my phrase. I'm sure I heard it somewhere else first, but like the best tool is the one that you know, right? It's the tool that you can use to get the job done. And sometimes there are more specialized tools for specific use cases, but doesn't really matter what you build your game in, but.
I mean, that's the cool thing, is I've seen a lot of everybody, like, we kind of tend to be more Unity 3D specific in our community, just because that just happens to be kind of the trend that we've seen. But I've seen a lot of folks actually recently start talking about like Unreal, which is another phenomenal engine to use. So like my thought was always just get to know what's out there and see what works for you. There's no like this is a better engine than this one. It really depends on what you're making, and a lot of them are very applicable depending on what you're trying to do, what your skill level is, and a lot of kind of like the background. And a lot of these tend to be also just made from the ground up too. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one was made from scratch, so to speak. And yeah, so it'd be cool if you guys are working on stuff. Let us know what works for you because it gives us more knowledge of what is kind of, you know, out there and what's applicable. Always interested to see what kind of engines are out there nowadays because there's so many.
There are so many,
cool
and they're
stuff.
so interesting. Like the different approaches to design and things can be really fascinating. I was trying to see if I could find like a dev log or something from their site, but nothing's popping out at this time. But anyway, neither here nor there. Yeah, and by no means does that like our community is definitely not a Unity dev community, but a lot of people use it just because it's a popular tool. I mean, it is one of the two biggest ones out there, you know, Unreal and Unity. But then there's Godot and there's Game Maker, all of these other cool tools that people are using to make games, which is great. Like, it's really neat. What's that one that's like it's one that's commonly used for like teaching kids programming and stuff?
You talking about Scratch?
Scratch, yeah, that's the one. I was good.
So I was kind of joking, like built from scratch. I used to say that when I was teaching game development, game design. I'd always say, okay, we're gonna build this from scratch. You're like, you mean like the program? They're like, no. You're funny.
Yeah.
Everybody's a critic.
That's good. Love it. Yeah, so let's talk about SantaCraft. So SantaCraft is a fun little game. It has the look about it that it could have been mobile.
I can tell you it was made in Unity, Adobe Photoshop, and Audacity.
Ooh,
based
excellent.
on their itch page.
Nice.
Right here.
Fantastic.
Interested. I always like itch because sometimes they have more information about the more dev side stuff.
Good. Yeah, good call. Good call on that. Okay, great. Yeah. So this is a little game, and I think this is a reasonable thing to like look at. Like a game like this would be a totally reasonable thing to build. Like this kind of a game, totally reasonable thing. There's even been a market for it. They're kind of. I don't want to like coin a phrase because sometimes it's not very helpful, but it's kind of like a Stardew Valley. Like, it is not. There's actually a branch of games that are starting to I'm starting to see a couple of they're like, if you took something like a Stardew Valley or something like a mining crafting building game, like, I mean Minecraft obviously, but just like those basic mechanics of like mining crafting, that kind of thing. If you took that and sort of stripped out the mining crafting building and just made a game only about those things, and all of the other stuff they could just kind of leave to the side, and so it ends up being very simple, very basic, but it executes on it really well, which we'll talk about. But there's another one I played, forgetting what it was called, but it was the premise of it. Oh, dang! I wish I would have actually looked this up. The premise of it is you are the great hero who, in like a classic RPG world, who rose up in power and overthrew and defeated the dark evil lord, whatever. And then in the process of saving the world, you get amnesia, and you wake up with no memories in the world after it was saved. So there's no more monsters. There's no more great conflict. It's all
Breath of the Wild.
Well, but no. It's not the world after the conflict was lost. It's the world after the conflict was won. So victory was achieved. Everybody's saved. The world is fine. And now they're rebuilding. And so you just end up in this small little town, like a starter town, and then you go around and you like mine things and you collect things and you level up your character and you build houses, and then people move in and you talk to them. But it's just like really passive and really like it has a nice. They're like chill. That's really the word for it. It's like a chill vibe of You just kind of you passively kind of work on things, and it's nice,
Well,
and it's not like it's super easy. Like, it is super easy, but it's not like, oh, this is easy and boring, whatever, I'm gonna leave. It still like has engaging gameplay in it.
Well, that's the interesting thing is like, and if you get into game design, you'll kind of see this a lot. Of kind of really what you want to do is kind of drive the player to do something in the game, right? That you want to progress the game so that they can see all the different cool, like fun, engaging portions of your game. So you're kind of almost driving them either through like an artificial like time limit or by pushing them towards the next phase. Because you kind of don't want them to get stuck where they're kind of like, well, what do I do? But these kind of chill games, as you phrased them, Caleb, are kind of interesting because they almost allow you to explore at your own pace, which I don't think we played a game like this on here yet, which they're very much like becoming more and more popular. Like you said,
Absolutely.
maybe Minecraft is kind of one of those things where you drive your own quests, your own goals, you make up your own fun things to do. And what's kind of neat is for folks that do like that, it's almost very mentally calming, and it's very nice to have to get a chance to kind of explore at your own pace rather than feel like, oh, I only have like 5 minutes before I, gonna like not pass this level or something, right? So I think it's a neat thing to do.
And the other aspect to it is like games that remove conflict, like combat, like don't actually have combat in them at all. Obviously, like combat is a pretty core piece of a lot of games, and it's frankly what makes a lot of games fun and engaging. Sometimes it makes a good game terrible, and sometimes it makes a mediocre game great. Depends.
Well, you were just gonna pinpoint. I thought of that when you said Stardew Valley. Like its weakest point, I thought was the combat portion.
Interesting. Yeah, I immediately went to fishing, but that's more because fishing is frustrating, not that it's necessarily its weakest point.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But
that wasn't.
I mean, it's very superficial to describe these games as being connected to something like Minecraft, because it's very much not like Minecraft at all. But we're talking theoreticals. Let's. I've got the game up here, and we can actually like dive into it and take a look at it. So you'll notice here that this is my saved game. I actually went through and played this a couple days ago, and you'll notice that I have played it for an hour and 49 minutes. I've beaten the game already. Like it's like.
Oh, okay.
It's not 100%, but it's I think the main storyline is over, and there might be a couple of tangential things. So I think what we'll do for our fun today is I'll start a new game, and we'll play that for a while, and then we'll stop playing, switch over to my other saved game, and just kind of show you what happens. Because basically, like in a game like this, effectively what happens is when you reach the end game, the game becomes more of just a toy than like a game that might have to, like, depending on your academic definition of a game, has to have like beginning and an end and like goals and that kind of a thing. The line between game and toy is sometimes weird, but it becomes more of like a sandbox. You just have like a bunch of things that you can do, and then you can like build new things, and that's where their pre-expansion that came out just recently is they added trains to the game, which you don't unlock until you beat the game. Like it's just like a thing that they added for like, because you can go around, you can build like a little town, and you can do this different stuff, and so they you can now add trains, and you can like drive your train around, and you can build little like pathways and stuff. So just it's basically adding more to the fun of the tool.
You know, it's really funny that you describe it that way, because now that makes, like, I always think like season themes like are hard to create. Like horror has always been Halloween in some instance. Like why can't Christmas and end of the year holidays be like just you said it perfectly, toy box Tinker games, right? And I think that's like something that's coming out to be as a thing that isn't fully realized, but I think it definitely could. And I'd be excited to see more games like that, because sometimes I just want to sit down and kind of like Stardew Valley, just play around and talk to people and collect things and do random stuff for like an hour or so, and then come back to it like a toy, like a something you pull out of a toy chest and play around for a bit. So yeah, this sounds really cool. I'm very excited to see what this entails.
Well, let's get into it. So I'll go ahead and start a new game. So
that's cool.
Ho ho ho!
No clothes.
That was some blizzard. My village is gone. Tragedy has struck at the North Pole. My reindeer are gone. My clothes are also gone. How will I get ready for Christmas? And that's pretty much it. It just drops you into the world at that point.
This is already great. Actually, this is my worst fear, is ending up into a world that is entirely frozen and cold and just your underwear. That is my worst fear. There are a lot of fears I have.
Oh no!
This
has turned into a horror game for Wes.
There's that scene in Doctor Strange where he gets sent to the frozen mountains.
Oh yes,
he has to figure out how to get back. And I was like, that sounds terrifying, because I would hate to freeze to death, because of that. Anyways, not to make this dark.
No. So this is actually really interesting. So again, this is my second time playing this game, and I'm pretty sure the world is overall procedurally generated. However, I'm looking at it right now, and what I'm noticing is that the opening box here is almost identical to what it looked like when I played it last time. And I don't think that's just like RNG chance. I think actually this opening setup is specifically designed. So you're in a little thing, you're kind of blocked, you can't walk anywhere. You're in a little circle here. You've got the North Pole, which you can click on, and then you have the snowman. And that was exactly, this little box was exactly what it looked like when I looked at it last time, when I started my other game. So you can go and talk to the snowman. That was quite the storm we had. Have you seen my clothes? I found some snow pants. Bring me 4 branches, and I'll give you these snow pants. Dig through the snow, and harvest some gingerbread trees. Then craft branches in your inventory. All right.
Yeah, I almost think that they're starting off this way the same, so that it can be very specific. I mean, this is that artificial tutorial section, right, in the game.
Absolutely.
Mechanics. So you make sure that you can create that experience the same way every time. So. Yeah.
So that's kind of, so you see it transitions from the question mark to the exclamation mark.
Oh yeah.
We can wander around, and we can actually, if we click on a snow that's right next to us.
He doesn't have clothes, but
he's got one glove.
Claw. Yeah, he's got one glove, one Santa glove.
It's got the claws.
I love how he's using it like chopping, which is hilarious because that's very much a movement in crafting games, is chopping trees.
Yes, absolutely.
It's so funny.
All right, so I'm going to dig out a little bit of snow. Now, what's actually interesting is that as you do that, those snowballs are going into your inventory. You actually are getting resources from that.
Okay.
You occasionally are also finding ribbon. All right,
That's
so
cool.
We've got a gingerbread tree here. We'll go ahead and whack the gingerbread tree with our mitten here.
Oh, that's so great.
Just like punching trees with your fists in Minecraft.
This is so cute. I love this. I was kind of wondering why the trees were brown. Because
they're gingerbread trees.
Right. I was like, they can't be dry. And, usually they're evergreens, right? So.
Uh-oh, we've got a thing. We need a gingerbread axe or better to dig whatever that is. Rock or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's a gingerbread tree, I kind of wonder if those are not just regular rocks. Which is fine.
What do you think they might be, Wes?
They look like chocolate to me.
They are chocolate.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Well guessed. Well guessed. All right, let's get some more trees. Now they have this resource stacking thing where you'll get the tree, but the snow's still there, and then you hit the snow, and then that reveals. There's actually another layer that you can end up getting as well.
Music is great, by the way.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I mean I think it's perfect. It's chill. It's not overbearing. It's just nice.
So this is a part, the crafting system. It actually took me a little bit to kind of like figure out how this is all working. But effectively what you have is as you find new items, recipes. So when you find an item, if you have found all of the items required to make a recipe, that's when you get the recipe for that item. So for instance, there's this now branch and the snowy bush. They were not there previously. So if I click on it, you can see it's using the gingerbread log is the only thing that's required. Now, there are two things going on here, which is really fun. And again, this took me a little bit to figure out, but the branch, if you have it clicked, you'll see in blue, that shows you which item the blue items are what it requires to make it, but it'll only show you that if you know that item. And then the green ones are the ones that require that item.
Oh, okay.
So,
That can get pretty complex real quick.
It can get a little bit. And I don't think anything uses more than 3 items at any point.
Yeah.
And you don't have the more complicated things, so sometimes you have to like create a shape out of the items to craft a thing. This is just have the items.
The green question marks, are those like other ones that you can eventually use this with, or like what does that mean?
Yeah, so basically what this means is that the ones in green are items that will require you to have branches in order to craft them.
Okay. Huh. That's such an interesting way of doing that. Like,
yeah, I'm not sure I'm 100% sold on that being the best way to communicate it or not. Maybe, but it did take me a little bit to parse it. And it was also a little bit confusing that you can like, no, I guess the blue ones do show up even for items that you haven't gotten yet. You can like click on them and you see you need these 3 items. Now, it doesn't actually help you to get that item unlocked.
yeah.
But yeah, so what we do right now is we have 3 logs, and we can craft those logs into branches every time it converts. So it's how many you have on the left, how many required to do the crafting is on the right, and then it tells you how many it produces, in which case it produces 2 branches. So it converts 1 log to 2 branches. Pretty basic, straightforward stuff. Now you'll notice I crafted branches, and as soon as I did, that was the first time I had branches, and that unlocked this immediately because now I have branches and logs, and same thing, I have branches, logs, and snowballs, and those are how I can craft those other ones.
Okay. So you may not know what's out there until you start crafting things, and it'll be like, here's some other things that you might need later.
I found it very advantageous to always make sure you have crafted at least one of a thing, because then that makes sure that anything underneath of it gets crafted. That does end up making you have to go through some chains of crafting, because then you have to like make sure you craft this thing to craft this thing to craft this thing to craft that thing. Yeah. So the other thing we have is we need to get our gingerbread axe, but we're going to need 5 logs in order to get there, so that's going to take us a little bit longer. We do have branches now. Did I make 2? Did I make 4? I have 2.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Go ahead and go over here and chat. Oh yeah, and you'll notice the exclamation mark turned yellow, indicating that the quest is now completable. So the branches go to them, and Snowman gives you snow pants, and now you can equip snow pants. And craft yourself a gingerbread axe. Make harvesting easier.
One thing about these crafting games, I mean, don't say this is exclusively crafting, but like UI is such an important thing.
Yes.
Because you've got a lot of
absolutely.
items, you've got a lot of things to do with those items. So that's something like almost exclusively you have to really take into consideration when making these.
Yes,
types of
and
games for sure.
there is a UI thing in here that I don't think quite works. I'm not really sure how to fix it, like how one could do it differently. I'm sure that there are some ideas that could be come up with, but I'll show you this. So in the bottom bar, you'll have what's in your hand, what's on your head, your chest, legs, feet, and then you can, whatever your recently placed items were, that can be helpful for building. But the way that they have this set up is you can cycle through by clicking on them. So in case of we just got these snow pants, if I click on this, it cycles to the snow pants. But then I can cycle back and forth through those. And as I get more items that match that slot, you can cycle through more of them. Yeah. The problem that I ran into is there are a couple of items with specific utility, especially traversal utility, that I want to be able to switch back and forth to frequently. But I have to go all the way through the loop. Like especially the shoes, you get like 5 or 6 shoes, and you have to loop through the whole thing in order to get back to the one that you're looking for. It doesn't take that long because you just go and then you loop through it.
Yeah.
But it is a little like, I wish there was an easier way to swap back and forth between items.
Are you able to do that through the inventory menu as well?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
You can.
I mean, not ideal, but
you can go into the inventory and double click things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You can do that. Now the snow pants don't do anything. They just.
I mean, they're pants.
They just
great
work
to have pants.
Yeah, it's important,
especially when it's super cold.
Yes. Oh yeah, and you can, if you cancel out of a like action, then it won't maintain your progress. Just if you cancel out, then you got to start over again.
So my question is,
yes,
what are the question marks?
Oh yes, they actually are a surprising number of question marks placed around the starting zone. That was not the case for me.
Oh really?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get one.
Oh, hey.
Or at least if it was the case for me, I don't remember. So now this is a sweater. I've equipped that now, so now I have a little sweater.
I love it. I like how it's not just automatically Santa gear, it's like
right,
just normal civilian Christmas clothes before you upgrade. I assume at some point maybe you'll get the traditional red coat.
You assume?
I assume. I mean, we don't even know if this is Santa. I think.
This is imposter!
It could be.
This is an inful walrus.
Love it.
Then he's got lots of tips, and not just the ones on the end of his tusks. While placing items, you can use the mouse wheel to pick a specific style. Actually, didn't know that. Shows you how much I talked to the info walrus.
Well, can you do that through the inventory system? Like
I think what that actually means is that when you're building and placing items, you can actually like they have more than one like art asset associated with them, so you can like render different kinds of art. Maybe some of them are just like rotated or something.
Gotcha.
I'm curious what this one is.
I think it's interesting that you're digging up. Oh, it's a hat. I think.
Okay, this is all feeling very familiar. So maybe actually this isn't procedurally generated. Because I remember getting these 3 items off the bat too. I don't know. My certainty is reducing. It might actually just be manually placed.
I mean, you did play for like an hour and a half or so.
This is a abominable. Have you seen my reindeer? I have Dasher in cave. Oh no, Dasher has been captured by the snowman. But I am bad gardener and hungry. I give you pear seeds. Find seeds in inventory, you plant. When done growing, you harvest. Bring me pear. I give you Dasher. This is a really interesting little mechanic that they have in here. Somebody took the time to build this. So we have some pear seeds. So we can actually, I think what it's mostly doing is it's teaching you the placement. So you can actually place, you don't have to be near the spot. You can actually place it anywhere.
Oh, cool.
Place it right here. But then what happens is very rapidly, the tree will go through its life cycle. It doesn't take very much time at all.
Pear trees.
And what's really interesting is that it's the only thing that grows. Like, this is the only thing you plant and grow.
Really?
Now, the game is also tipping its hat to you, because in what song is a pear tree play a significant role?
A partridge in a pear tree.
There you go.
So is that like part of another quest?
Yes. Yeah. It will reveal itself. So we found a pear.
Okay. I see that.
Thank you for the pear.
Anything is possible with the Christmas spirit, right?
There you go. Have you seen my sleigh or other reindeer? They all with other snowmen. You dig snow and explore island. You find them. Save Christmas. Well, at this point, we'll look at the quest log. This is our quest log. And so this is all of the things needed for you to save Christmas. You need Santa's rocket jet, sleigh, all of the reindeer. I think there are actually 12 reindeer. There's a reason for that.
I love the middle one, the little small chubby one.
Yeah. You have to have 10 elves and a workshop.
Jeez. This is really cool. This looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's a fun little like ride around the.
I do like how they kept it limited in the sense of the quest log and the inventory log is the green UI and the red UI.
Which would be great unless you're colorblind. Redland colorblind.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess those are pretty similar.
Though I will give you points in that. I give them points in that they're using green and blue here, which are usually you don't have trouble with those two colors at the same time. But yeah, red, green. I mean, it doesn't really matter because they've got it in text. It's got a Q and an I, so there's no significance that one is the other. And also, yeah, it's Christmas themed, so red and green are kind of a thing. So
well, and they are on the left and right side pretty clear. And since they do pop up in their own menus, I guess it's all one color. But it is always something good to consider every time you're looking around at your UI is like, what is, like, is this, colorblind sufficient to be able to help someone read this? And puzzle games especially really have a hard time with this because it's, obviously lots of colors that represent lots of different things. And so you need more colors to represent different things. So it's like, it's hard. It's really hard. But I think you should always consider it because, we've come across this. I mean, I think a lot of times in game development that there are a lot of people out there that struggle with this. And it's good to kind of help create that inclusivity of being able to think about everybody that might be playing your game and trying to, have, like I said, have fun with cute little game like this.
Yeah, accessibility is such a big deal. I mean, it's really cool to see when it's really taken into account and consideration. I just saw an article, which I did not read, so... but it was about...
Scanned an article.
It was Microsoft working on an adaptive play cockpit so that people could play Flight Simulator who had disabilities.
Oh, cool.
And so, like... I imagine, since I didn't read the article, that they probably feature people who might otherwise not be able to play a game like Flight Simulator being able to fly, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we shared something where somebody was using their adaptive controller.
Yeah.
And just seeing people's like eyes light up when they play those things.
Vixen Mumble Cave. Floor bluebirds.
Yep. Pretty birds. Oh, there they are.
Yep. Alright, I think we've got ourselves into a position here where we have plenty of wood. Let's go ahead and craft a gingerbread axe.
It's always kind of cracks me up. I forgot to mention this when the Abominable Snowman mentioned that you need to save Christmas. I always think it's hilarious that you have to save Christmas. That always seems to be
in jeopardy. Like Christmas is slipping between our fingers at every moment.
Exactly. We can't lose the sacred thing.
All right, so I have an axe, a gingerbread axe now. Do you think I'm going to be able to mine the chocolate?
I think so. That's what I was saying before, right? You need a...
Yay, chocolate.
Yum, yum, yum. So it makes me wonder if you can make hot cocoa. You found gold. Dang.
Yes. Occasionally you find gold when mining chocolate.
That is, yeah, that's awesome chocolate, but also that is a really hard piece of gingerbread.
Good point. Good point.
I mean, even
have you ever tried mining chocolate with gingerbread?
That's the problem. Is like I can't say that I have, so I can't say that it isn't a perfect tool to use. So
for your Christmas scientific experiments, attempt to mine chocolate with gingerbread, y'all. Come back and tell us how it goes.
Although one of my favorite Christmas cookies are the ones that are they're like soft. They're usually like German cookies. They're like soft with gingerbread in them. And kind of almost, I wouldn't say like a nougat, but it's almost like a fig-like texture, and then they're covered on the outside with chocolate. They're like, I forget what they're called, but my parents used to get them all the time as a kid, and I was like, those were really, really tasty. Sometimes they're like shaped like candy canes and stuff.
Because this is not what you're talking about, but what makes me think about is stroopwafels. Which are those they look like a waffle on both sides, and they have like a gooey caramely thing in the middle. Oh, I love those.
Oh, I don't think I've had those.
Oh my gosh. Really good. So what you do is you get a warm cup of tea, and then you get your stroopwafel and you set it on top of your teacup, because they're usually pretty big.
I know what you're talking about.
And you let it like melt it and heat it up and melt it.
Yeah.
Let's check out these question marks.
Ooh.
What are these?
Lollipops? Maybe?
Chocolate shovel. Oh no. Well, we've got some chocolate now, and we can make ourselves a chocolate shovel. Now this is where we start getting into that thing. So I can click through my items here. So I can be empty-handed, gingerbread axe, chocolate shovel. But I'm gonna have, and there are more items coming, and you have to click through all of them to switch. That does start to get a little hard. Like, just, it's a minor annoyance, but you do it enough that it starts kind of stacking up.
Unintentionally cookie clicker. That's kind of game.
Cookie clicker. What a game. It's weird to see cookie clicker having a resurgence, because I played it back in the day when it was newer. And now it's like coming back. It's really strange. What is this? Dove.
A dove.
This way. Bird. can dig quite a bit faster now. The shovel is quite a bit better at
Oh
digging.
yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny in the cold. I would imagine the chocolate to be at least harder.
Oh yeah, totally.
'Cause I've frozen chocolate in the freezer sometimes and be like, man, that's really hard.
The little noises just make it for me. Like, wow.
Yeah, is that like a discovery noise? Like, hey, I discovered something in the
Oh, that's
snow.
like.
Oh,
I can't go
get
there.
Oh.
That's the negative sound. Wow.
Gotcha. That's fun.
And just even like the animation, like the little bobs and stuff. I mean, that stuff is super easy to do because it's just like little scales and little transitions and like rotations and stuff.
Yeah.
You could do that very easily, and it adds so much character to the whole thing.
Yeah. It's funny because definitely we talk about like the importance of having a minimal viable product, right? So like before you get into all this nitty-gritty stuff, that it's important to get the core of your game figured out. But like the core of the game is just digging, discovery, collect, create. Once that's really solid, like all this stuff starts to fit in place, right? You start kind of being inspired to add these other things, and they become less of a distraction and more of a supportive element of the game that really helps to get it to shine. Because like the point of discovery was part of that, right? So it's cool. Like I see that little nutcracker guy at the bottom right. Like I just want to go over and discover and see what they have to say. And there's the walrus that gives you more hints and stuff. There's the question marks. It's a lot of rock.
It's a lot of rock.
So that seems. So did you have a lot of areas that were more rocky and more trees?
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. And looking at this now too, I'm like, this is all exactly as I remember it. So I'm thinking more and more that this is not different.
Procedurally generated?
Yeah. Ooh, I just got a GPS.
Oh, that's cool. You got a map.
Yeah. And the map looks exactly the same too.
So, but that's my question because I know you can do that. That sounds like to me super challenging to create. I mean, it sounds like that's probably what they didn't do here specifically for that, to create an experience the way they want to.
Right.
But it is possible to create areas with more or less rock or more or less trees or whatever. But I'm always like boggled by how to do that. Like, I guess it's the bias in areas, but...
Are you talking about when making procedural generated systems?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like... When you're building in a procedural generated system, I mean, depending on whether you're using a third-party tool or building your own, I mean, you can have control over all of the levers and things. I built one once where I was trying to create mountain ranges, and I wanted them to sort of like go more or less in like a linear direction.
Yeah.
And so basically what I would do, and depending on how you build your procedural generation, this is one way to do it, where you basically have an agent, and an agent starts somewhere and then move. Like I was working on a grid, so grid's relatively easy to work with, and the agent just moved along the grid, and each space it would flip it to be the right style, so flip it to be a mountain or whatever. And that might be different from like a forest. So like my forest agent, what it would do is it would pick a spot and then it would kind of work in a circle like outwards from a point, and it would kind of like, it would try to be misshapen, and it would use like random rolls to determine whether it would keep growing in one direction or another. But that would be like focused around a central point, whereas a mountain one's going to move like along a particular line. A river, which is one I didn't end up building, but what I was going to be doing with that was with the river, it can only go, like, it can take turns, but there's a limit to how frequently it can take turns, and it has to generally flow in one direction, and it can't ever like fold in on itself, and it's only ever 1 square wide. So yeah, there's like there's many ways to do it. That's what I guess I'm trying to say more than anything.
It just reminds me when Jason was working on the Isles of Disaster, how he talks about how he creates the ability to create procedurally generated either events or ways to move the environment in certain ways, grow in certain ways, based on, like, I know there's disasters like the lava coming in and destroying things and where it can move. So, and what's kind of neat is he has specially crafted it in a way to almost like target the player in an aggressive way, as you start to learn about the game, which is really kind of neat. Like, those things really fascinate me because it's like almost like artificial intelligence in a way.
I mean,
like
the artificial intelligence that's like a giant if statement, basically. But
right. Yeah. I mean, it's a simplistic version of it, but it's pretty cool to see that stuff. I find that fascinating, especially when you can make it, like, really we're just trying to make it feel like what you would see in the real world. Like, is that mountain a really tall mountain, or is it like a plateau? Like, and you can kind of create those things if you know what you're trying to get towards.
So we've been doing a lot of digging, and we've been digging up a bunch of random stuff, and one of the things we now have is we have access to lollipops, and lollipops give us the lollipop pickaxe, which is our next important item. We also now have access to the fishing rod. You can fish now also. And of course, Wes, I have an important question for you. If we are going to go fishing, which I don't have a good spot here to go fishing, back to the North Pole. If we are going to go fishing at the North Pole, what item do you think that we would fish out of the North Pole?
Like, what bait to use?
No, not what bait. What item? If we go fishing here, we switch to our fishing rod and I plunk it into the water, what do you think we're going to get out of the water?
Swedish fish?
Not bad.
Man. I don't know.
Fighting this little pond.
It looks like it's... Oh, you got your boots.
Just got Santa's boots. That was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I was gonna say boots or something, because that's always the... it's funny, people say, like, oh, you always get a boot, or some kind of, tire or something like that. I did meet someone when I was a kid fishing, and actually did fish the boots out of water. I was like, that really happens?
So I'm highlighting the item that I just fished out of the water.
Oh, saltwater taffy?
Saltwater taffy, because it's the ocean. So it's saltwater taffy. I got such a kick out of that.
I actually do like saltwater taffy. It's not something I would have all the time. I mean, that's
like
most
fresh
things, right?
Freshly made, like, by hand saltwater taffy is incredible. There's a lot of, like, store-bought versions that just taste like rubber and are not very great. But, like, fresh, real saltwater taffy, so good. And we have lollipops down here. Or not lollipops.
So that's interesting. So to make the lollipop axe, you needed lollipops. And lollipop axe is what breaks through the candy cane. So it seems like this hierarchical access of digging through the next item. So I'm assuming whatever the next thing you can't dig through, you need to make it out of, like, some kind of candy cane item. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it stops here or whatnot. But
it does actually stop at the candy cane. The candy cane's the best item. Okay. Yeah. But you can never use anything except for the gingerbread axe to chop down gingerbread trees.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So and that's where it starts to get a little frustrating because you always have to flip back to that gingerbread axe, and everything else could be managed by the candy cane. But that one item can only be
I think
gingerbread axe.
that could be easily fixed though if it isn't already. Like, just you could dig through it, but just I mean, I don't know how rare the lollipops are, the candy canes are, but just use that as your primary if it cuts through them faster. But that's the other thing, is like it depends on the abundance of the resource. Like, it's much easier to cut down a gingerbread tree because there's so many of them. So yeah, I could see the swapping, especially if you get more items, can be a little bit more it's time consuming. What is that?
That one?
Swan?
Yeah, I
The
believe
swan
it's a
down there?
swan.
Okay.
Can't quite get to it though. It's on the ice, and I don't have any way to traverse ice yet.
Oh.
Oh, good. I have enough to make the candy cane hammer. Now I can just smash through everything.
That's cool. Oh, it came to you.
Gotcha.
Oh. I just like, I love this in games where it's like, man, those are some big pans, 'cause you've got quite a bit of items in there.
I know, right? I'll just wait until I start getting buildings.
Oh my god. It's like the, what is it, the bag of holding from Dungeons and Dragons. You just have an infinite amount of items you can put in there. It's the Christmas spirit of bag of holding. Anything's possible.
I gotta switch back to my gingerbread axe here. You can press the 1 key to swap between things as well.
Oh, okay. So is it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
6. Yeah, 6.
So we've been looking for the reindeer. They've been in caves, right? So that means we haven't seen a cave yet.
Well, we don't actually ever see the caves. We just have to talk to the snowman.
Oh, okay. Once you
I'm
collect
the
them.
agreeable snowman. I want to give you Donner. You do?
You do?
I do.
I do.
But I want 7 swans, please. You
7
catch.
swans,
I give you Donner. Yes. So that's why there are 12 reindeer. It's because you have to collect all of the things.
I gotcha.
The pear,
Yes.
what is it? 2 French hens.
Yep.
The 3. What is it? 3. What is it? 3 French
doves?
hens. 2 doves. So we have 2 doves, 3 French hens, 4 calling birds, which are the bluebirds, the 5 golden rings, 6 swans of swimming, 7 lords of leaping, which I think actually you make bagpipes. The item you make for that is bagpipes.
Oh.
7. That maids of milking? No. The 7's bagpipes. 8 maybe milking. Boy, I feel like I'm really bad at this. But you make like you don't. It's not always the literal item. It's sometimes a different item, but they've got like drums and bagpipes and things. You can see a couple because there's like because here's the pear, here's the dove, here's the bluebird, the rings, the swans, the pipes, and the drums.
Oh, I see. So you got new items, right? And
Yep.
when you roll over them, they'll not be new anymore. But the ones that are part of your quest have that explanation point over top of them too. So like your bluebirds, your swans are part of a quest that you have to get.
I just unlocked the snowshoes, which make you walk faster, and then the crampons, which make you walk on ice.
Is that what they're called?
I don't know if that's what they're called, like in
call
real
them
life, but that's what they're called here.
Oh, maybe. What's the? Oh yeah, snowshoes. You said snowshoes. Okay.
Yep, snowshoes. So, all right. So it's 3 o'clock. I think what we might do here is if you want to play through Saving Christmas, please go grab it. I think the game's like $5.
Yeah.
It's a good time just to play through and have fun with it. But what I would like to do now is I'm gonna actually save and quit, and I'm gonna go up and load our new like where I am at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
So I have saved Christmas. I basically did the bare minimum to save Christmas in terms of like building things.
Attaboy, Clarence. I do like the elves. Gotta look busy.
Yes. So there are items here that the Santa items do give you actual mechanical benefits. So the Santa hat is a chance of double item drop. The coat is double durability for your tools because those do break over time, and the pants make you faster. So
I hear they help you fit down chimneys too.
The shoes? No, the pants.
The pants. I was joking. Not in this game, anyways. What are the glasses you have on?
Let's see.
The pink ones.
Yeah, so those are the ones that make everything pixelated and retro.
That's awesome.
You get that at the very end of the day. But you can you also get this Talkman.
The Talkman. It's
and
yeah.
You can
from,
pitch shift
Home Alone.
all of the sounds in the game.
That's great. I love that. That's hilarious. Yeah, I just watched that movie the other day, the second one. I used to have one of those.
Yeah, I have mine somewhere, I think, still.
I used to just record the radio with that because it was perfect. I would just kind of set it aside someplace and record it, and then I had a copy of it. That's a blast from the past. That was cool.
So because I have the pants, I can clear out snow in one hit now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Takes some time, but I kind of want to play with. So this is after you've gotten all of your things, and oh, there's one side quest I haven't done yet.
Of course.
Of course. But you can. I now have access to trains, and I'm very curious about the trains. You can also destruct houses as well. So things that you can build, structures. Once you build them, you can actually destruct them, and then you can place them again, so they don't go away. I'm curious what this mouse wheel thing does. Yeah, I'm doing the mouse wheel, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Oh, because you're hoping that you could switch between different houses?
So let's see. Oh, I see. There's a subtle change.
Oh, the lights. The lights on the building.
Yeah, and the door color
That's cool.
changes. So let's see. Inventory. We've got train station. And tracks.
Huh, cool. Oh, I see. So it gives you a cross section of it. And then, depending where you place it, it'll either create a turn or a straight line.
Yeah. Using smart tiling. Kind of try to clear out a little bit of space so I can myself
Smiling's
a little.
the best. Is that penguin just like your companion? He's just following you
Yeah,
around.
so I don't know what goes on with the penguin other than like you can talk to the penguin, and if you say if you talk to the penguin while it's following you, Then you say bye penguin, and then it's like sad penguin, and then it doesn't follow you anymore. And then if you talk to the penguin, he's like, yay,
Pang.
want to hang out?
Wanna
And
hang
then
out?
he follows you around, and I feel so bad about how sad the penguin sounds when you tell him to stop following you, that I just have the penguin following me.
It's fine. It's okay. Okay.
You can follow me, all right?
It's the same thing with my cats. Like, okay, like, it's fine, but you gotta leave me alone. You gotta quit opening up the door when I'm in the bathroom. You can't do that anymore. It's like, why? Like, because I don't want that.
There was a fun little side quest in the game where you have to race a turtle in a balloon.
Oh, funny. I did see a balloon.
But what I liked about it was that because you can't walk through snow piles, you have to craft a path between the two locations, and then you can use another item to make you walk faster as a way to sort of tackle that particular race, which was fun.
Okay.
I actually really liked that. A new hammer. All right, you think this is enough space?
Yeah, make something.
We got 16 pieces. All right. Build a train, or does it just try going to the train station?
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, this...
Keep going. Keep going.
This would be really cool.
You can create stations.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you
on
could,
and off.
like, stop at different locations or something. This would be really cool.
Yeah, so you could like build a little town and like create little places and stuff.
That's funny. It's hilarious because when people are like, "Oh man, it's super cheesy to like, you know, build train tracks and do model training," I'm like, yeah, but they are really fun.
The clean change track intersections. You do have to like go through and destruct them.
Deconstruct it.
Switch to my X. Let's see, what does it take to build more branches? Or not branches.
Dang.
Okay, I've got a lot of those now. It didn't take very
I was
much.
gonna say, holy cow. Yeah, I got over 100 now.
Okay, good. We have something to work with.
Yeah, at this point, it probably just takes longer to lay down the tracks and clear out the area. Whoa.
Okay.
What does that do?
There we go. You can... That's interesting.
What would that do? It quickly turned from the very relaxing train line to the how fast can you throw up?
Wait a second.
train-
I think I just created an infinite loop.
Is this where your game crashes?
Oh no, I did credit it for the loop.
Oh no.
Oh, wait, whoa, that what?
Okay.
Every
so
time you go
circle.
over it, it changes. Okay, interesting. Like a track
So-
intersection to change its direction.
Oh, you see it flip.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's infinite. Nope, never mind. Well, I mean, it is, but like it would have been anyways, but
Okay, interesting. All right.
huh. Okay. Yeah, the looping is kind of interesting for sure.
I can. How many tracks do I need? I need 3. To build. Train station.
So when you're in the train, laying down track mode, can you kind of scroll to any part of the map?
I
Or is
don't
it
think
just
so.
So you would have to like kind of stop once you get to one part of the map that you can see, and then walk there and continue.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems to be locked in.
Gotcha.
So what do I do to like make
Yep. Not big enough.
now I should be able to place it.
It's interesting that you were standing on a part that you couldn't get to, but then it
Yes.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I was just gonna say, like, I was wondering if some of these items might be specific to the train tracks.
Yeah, I need a bell.
Welcome your guests to the town.
There we go. I like it.
That's cool. What does the bell do?
The bell was just used to craft this because it has a little bell in the middle of it. Wait, no, that's not what I want to do.
I wonder if you could place a bell somewhere that if you like went underneath it or by it, it would go off. That would be cool.
If you can place a bell just by itself.
Wow.
You can't place it, but you can ding it.
Okay, as long as they have that.
They also have the bagpipes.
Hi, Santa.
We've gone to
annoying.
plaid!
Oh, he don't like that. He stops following you.
The penguin runs away. Giant toothbrush?
Ideal for brushing narwhal's tusks.
Oh yeah, that was for quest item. I remember that. Let's see. What else do I? Wrapping paper. Present.
You know, one thing that would be really cool is if you could like, I mean, now that you're at a spot that you can build your own train tracks and build your own town and everything, is if you could like share your map with other people and have them like come to your town and enjoy your creation.
Right. Yeah, definitely like some sort of mechanism for sharing or something.
If it's on Steam, sometimes
Seems
you can kind of do that stuff through the workshop thing. It's like send over a game save file or something.
Ooh, a gazebo. I haven't tried. Let's see, I need light posts. Get
Build one street lamp for the chicken farmer to get two hints. Cool.
Probably could switch to the GPS pants.
Is that what those are called? GPS pants? They are.
Yes.
That's funny.
GPS pants. Build one street lamp, I'll give you a hen. I guess I had to place it. There we go.
Are you happy?
Yeah, it's much
That's
brighter.
brighter.
Here's your hen. I got a hen, and then I'm going to destroy the street lamp.
Oh god!
I love the street lamp. Nothing left but to keep rebuilding my village. Merry Christmas, one and all. Oh, because I finished the last quest, and so I got a little... You did it. Yay.
Little fun.
Here's a little chubby one. It's Cupid.
Okay. Is that the
So we got...
because I can't see your cursor in Discord.
Oh.
That's the one in the middle.
Yeah, so Dasher,
Oh, I see, yeah.
Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, Min, and Rudolph. Oh,
Here's
that's the
Min.
Grinch.
Oh,
That's the
that's
dog
from the Grinch.
from the Grinch.
That's right.
Ow, okay, it's all coming together now.
Perfect. That's actually okay.
Yeah. Because there's only 10 plus Rudolph, right, in the original list, and so
Yeah.
but they needed 12 to do
For the
the
12
12 days of Christmas gag. So
Yeah. That's fun.
yeah, anyway, it is good. It's good. They do add a thing that I really liked, because if you think about it, the map actually has limited resources. There's a finite number of resources on the whole map. So once you finish everything, there's another little quest that you can go on, and eventually you can talk to Mr. Narwhal, and Mr. Narwhal will remake this little island. Will rebuild it, and so then you can come here and there's infinite resources.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
You can just mine this island and get infinite resources.
That's a neat way to kind of resolve that, because you wouldn't want them to run out of resources if they like wanted to make X amount of street lamps or whatever. But you also don't want to keep building more and more island or whatever.
Right.
That's a interesting, unique way to resolve that.
Yeah, basically. I mean, another way that you could potentially solve something like this is basically say, you made it this far. If you're invested in just doing the crafting part of it, then unlimited resources. Here you go. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, I know Animal Crossing, at least New Leaf does it by you'll eventually run out of resources, or maybe you need way more unique ones. You can kind of go to different islands and get different resources that way. It's a good way when you kind of run out of a specific resource on your own island.
Now, I'm kind of looking at this island and thinking through what the composition of it is. And so far, I find this fascinating. The composition is, well, I was gonna say there's more gingerbread trees than there is chocolate. I think that's probably true because overall you're gonna need more gingerbread trees because a lot more things use wood as a base item, or gingerbread as a base item, like to make into branches and that. There is actually a character who will take two gingerbread and turn it into. So you can take a gingerbread log and turn it into 2 branches. This character will take 2 logs and turn it into 5 branches. So it actually gives you 1 more than you would get by default.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it's interesting because it does look like the trees kind of clump together with each other, as well as
a little
rocks.
bit. You get some branching out, but then you have other ones that are closer together. Or gingerbread. Give me 1 gingerbread and I'll make 5 branches. Oh, so it's even better trade than I thought it was, because it actually takes 1 gingerbread and makes 5 instead of 1 makes 2. So
crunch, crunch.
Back and forth, you can like.
I always felt the nutcracker thing was always kind of terrifying because their eyes are always like so crazy.
I will say that we just took our 5-year-old daughter to see the Nutcracker at the Ohio Theater yesterday.
Oh, cool!
And it was tons of fun. Her eyes were just big and bright and just soaked the whole thing in. It was magical, and of course they do like really fun theater magic tricks of floating items and stuff on wires and just like the performances were incredible. The second half of the Nutcracker show is basically just an excuse for ballet dancers to show off how good they are at ballet. And because there's like no plot once you get to the second act, it's just sort of like, and now we're touring Candyland, and here's all of these dancers, and it was a lot of fun. We really, really enjoyed that. So, super big props to everybody. The ballet Met.
I gotta go again sometime. It's been years since I've gone and seen the Nutcracker, but it's always been fun.
They always do a Christmas in July sale where you can get tickets at 50% off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's what we did.
For the winter?
Yeah, for the winter show. They sell tickets in July.
That's actually smart.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
What is that, like a white wolf?
Oh.
To play in snow. Ow, rough.
Ow,
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 ow, ow.
It's bet there's a dog you could pet somewhere.
Uh-oh. If there isn't, man, I'm just saying right now.
I know, right? They'll be rioting in the streets.
There will be.
Burn the town down. There's no petting. No dog you can pet. Anyway, I'm just kind of meandering now, walking around and mining items because I have a weird compulsive addiction with mining items in video games because for some reason I just really love it.
What do they call that? That's cathartic, relaxing experience.
Yeah, could be that.
I'd be interested with the train tracks, like kind of like where people would do with mine carts, in Minecraft is just kind of create almost a neat little like roller coaster experience. Like how long can they get the ride
Oh
to
yeah.
go through, and like are there things you can like draw out with the paths and stuff? Like
100%. That would
I
be
mean, I'm
amazing.
sure somebody's gonna go through and like connect them like what you're doing with like a grid, and see if they can kind of like. It takes like an hour to get through, but like go through all the different circles and stuff.
Oh, we're doing this now, Wes. This is happening. This is happening. Are you ready? we're gonna tear the town down for this, Wes. This is all your fault.
But people live there. It's okay.
Not anymore.
Santa knows what's best. I live in Santa's pocket now. It's okay.
We're even bringing down the workshop. Workshop gone. Santa's house is gone. No more of this
All gone.
nonsense. It's all gone.
It's the after Christmas sale. Everybody back in.
All right.
I mean, you do. Man. I was gonna say, after all that, still, like,
Right.
you'd use half of them.
Yeah.
So even though you do get a lot of tracks, you need a lot of tracks to like build stuff. God. I can't build there. We'll see. Oh, that's interesting. So I wonder, depending on the order of which you build them, like if it changes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go through. You can actually alter.
Oh, weird. Okay.
You can alter how it works.
Ooh. What does that mean? Oh, weird.
I don't know if we just. I just kind of want to get it and go. Like, let's go. See what happens.
Just discovering. Ooh.
Yes.
Oh. Everybody join the Santa throw up ride. Does anybody want any gingerbread cookies?
I mean, is it even possible for this thing to resolve? Like,
I mean, I'm sure there's a way to like build it in such a way it just takes like an hour to get through.
well,
You get
I
back
mean,
to the
there's a
station.
possibility,
Oh, wait.
less that I've done it.
Oh yeah, look, look.
Yeah, because it went up higher. It went up to the next row.
Yeah.
But does it have to go back through the whole thing in order to go up to the next row?
It might. Yeah, you may have created a
Monster.
very long scenario. I like how the bottom right corner it has to loop, just like every time.
Oh, is that
Whoop!
bottom right hand corner? This is very fascinating. I'm sort of like, as an engineer, now I'm thinking through like, like what are all the deals? Because it hits that first one, and then it.
There you go.
Oh wait,
Yeah, it's slowly.
building its way back up to the top.
Oh, it's doing something else weird. It's like reversing itself.
Oh no! It like. Did it like reset because everything was weird?
I don't know. See, this is why I want to go into the Steam workshop and see if people have made builds that.
Right, do like weird and crazy things.
Yeah. I
don't
love how
know.
the penguin's still like, please.
Tried to follow.
Go down.
He's absolutely dedicated to the cause of following Santa around. Oh no. I feel like anybody watching this is going to be like, what is going on? What?
Just preface the video with may cause
Seizure warning.
symptoms-
Nausea.
the
Seizure warning.
symptoms of nausea and over consuming Christmas spirit. I don't know.
Over consuming Christmas spirit. I just, I've got a serious case of sunk cost fallacy at this point, because now I'm like, I'm in this long, I gotta find out if it ever resolves. Oh geez, this is something else.
Yeah, that's. Oh, interesting. It does, but it starts at the beginning.
Well, that was an experience. Let me tell you that. That was absolutely an experience.
We'll call it the initiation test for elves. If they can get through the rising mountain.
Yeah,
Up,
no kidding.
they're hired. That's neat.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna skip all of it because.
Yep.
Still gonna
Does it
skip
make a
all
little
of it.
toot noise when it starts? Like,
Yeah, yeah, it does. Let's go
That's
the
cool.
opposite direction.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I will tell you that one of the things that's really challenging about 2D games, which is, probably why people are like, oh, 2D games are always easier. Like, no, not necessarily. It's for reasons like this where you have to understand layering operations and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like, it gets real confusing real quickly if you.
Well, there was a question about that in our dev help channel, right? Just recently about some layering stuff that someone was having a problem with.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's. Some people are like, it's an exact science. And it's like, well, sometimes it is, and sometimes you just need it to get it to work.
Yeah.
In a way that, makes sense, right? Like, definitely, like, if you're talking about, like, I think one of the questions was, like, how to do a 2D version of, like, Unity versus a 3D. And yeah, there are tools for both, but at the end of the day, Unity is a 3D tool, so it's just a matter of pushing things in and out of Z space. But just as well, there's also the ability to use the same plane to order the rendering order.
Well, so it's a little more complicated than that though, because the canvas, because you have and I've run into trouble with this. So you do have things that exist in virtual, like the virtual three-dimensional space, and everything does ultimately exist in the three-dimensional virtual space, whether you're doing 2D or 3D. But you also have in Unity a lot of control over rendering layers and the order that those rendering layers goes into, and you get that in both 2D and 3D space. So you can have in 2D space, you can have different layers render in front of or behind each other, and it doesn't actually matter what their physical space is. They'll always render over or under each other. And the same thing, you can actually do that in three-dimensional space times 2. So if you have one of the way to do like in-game UI, like health bars and things over enemies, is to create a world space canvas. So it's a canvas that takes on a three-dimensional space positioning. You can attach it to a game object and it can move around with it. But you can also have that render behind and in front of other things too. I remember trying to solve a problem once where the physical location of the canvas was in front of an object, but would always render behind the object, and like trying to figure out where the weird setting was and why things are. So like, yeah, I mean, you get a lot of interesting control over UI elements. It is cool. Like it's cool that you can do all of that, and it can be very useful in some situations to have that granular control. But it can also be head-scratchingly, mind-bogglingly weird when you get into a situation where like, wait, where is this thing? Totally.
Yeah, we had. I think I mentioned this a little bit. We had with No Mercy, which is like a two-person side-scroller beat 'em up, right? And it was originally just going to be all 2D, but we had to do it in a weird way where we like angled the camera at a 45-degree angle so that like the player moving in and out of space would actually scale a little bit because they were actually physically moving in 3D space as they moved away from the camera. But it became super complex when we tried to create hitboxes for enemies.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
those had to be calculated in 3D space. So then creating the 2D textures and objects to hit things in 3D space became mind-boggling difficult to do. So eventually we went back and said, okay, can we create the look and feel of the 2D game in 3D? And we were finally able to. Actually, some Unity upgrades and rendering allowed us to not only swap the layers a little bit better and not lose the visual effects, the 2D graphics, but then we could also cell shade some of the characters with 3D models, and it made things a lot easier. So like that's kind of, I think the goal is really, okay, don't overcomplicate it, because it will get complicated eventually. Like try to, oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah, you could use the bagpipes to push characters around.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, go on.
But yeah, so yeah, I think I would probably start off at the very least, whichever way you want to go more heavily towards, whether it's staying on the same plane but changing the rendering order of your 2D content, or going just 3D and not necessarily worrying too much about implementing a ton of 2D layer ordering options. Well, that's cool. How'd you create all that track real fast?
I just clicked rapidly.
Oh, you did? I guess I wasn't paying attention. That's cool. But yeah, I think just kind of my thing was just try to keep it as consistent as possible, so that when you run across issues, you can kind of help understand and predict them a little bit better. Because sometimes when you do a mixture of this and a mixture of that, you come to find that it's just really challenging to kind of troubleshoot what's going on when there is an issue at hand. Because then eventually, yes, you can like mix both, but in the beginning of first developing a game, I think definitely you need to go heavier 2D operations or heavier 3D operations, and kind of diverge from that as you need to. At least that's what I think. I mean, I could be entirely wrong, but that's based on the experience I've had. I just think it kind of work a little bit better. But this is cool. So like, you're building a really long track.
This is a track with actual utility. Because this is the island that regenerates. It can be like...
I need more items. Let's go down here.
Yeah, let's go.
Which could
go
be
get some items and
slightly faster than just walking there. Does the snow grow back?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. I was just kind of curious.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that'd be kind of cool to like. You could spell out the word like "Merry Christmas" with train tracks.
Right.
Like,
Yes. Absolutely.
some fun stuff.
Well, I like little things like this. Not that I usually do make or build interesting things with them, but I like other people who are making interesting things with them. One of the things that comes to mind is in Stardew Valley, as they have the sound block. So when you walk by it, it makes a sound. And you can tune it to be a different note. And people have created all kinds of like songs. I mean, Mario and Mega Man and Chrono Trigger, and like people have just like created all of these great sort of 8-bit sounding 8-bit 16-bit like sounding pieces using the mechanics provided in Stardew Valley, and you just like have them like run through, and the songs will play as they're running through the obstacle course. It's just so fun, and I love them so much. Of course, they vary wildly in quality. Some of them are better than others, but it's still tons of fun. I like little things like that because it gives people such latitude to just be fun and creative, but also self-contained, because sometimes too much freedom of creativity is stifling. It's just like too much to deal with. But when you have this one block, and this block gives you, 1 octave range of notes, and then that's your limitation, and then you try to like push the boundaries of what's possible with just that one limitation. It's really neat. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think what's kind of cool is like they've got a couple of tools started here. There's a lot of neat stuff you can do. The fact that they've went in and updated this for the the holiday season. I think they released this, you said, like maybe a year ago. They might do more. It'd be kind of cool to see if they added some other mechanics, like you said, like a toolbox. That'd be kind of fun. Or maybe there's like new quests that they can add in later. And obviously, it's kind of neat. Like you can actually see the train tracks being built on your map too. So it's kind of neat.
Oh, you can. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there's something else, like they turn gold? I wonder if that's the buildings. Maybe that's the buildings you made. I think so.
I wanted to do. Okay.
Dead end.
Fine.
Crash. Oh, it just bounces back. That's actually kind of an interesting mechanic, is just the ability to bounce back. So the curves change when you click on them again? Is that?
Yes, you can control click and you can alter what kind of curve it is.
Okay. That's quite a few.
Yeah, that's what I want. This is the workshop tour train. Come up and you see the workshop in Santa's house, and then you come back around, and then you go back.
That's cool.
Just dance to the music.
I just like how Santa's face in the train is just like this square face block.
Yeah, I don't actually think I noticed that is what that was.
I think it's just.
I thought it was just a picture painting on the side, but it totally is Santa's face. Like,
yeah.
Poor penguin is trying to catch up.
Oh my God, Santa, you're so fast.
Run, penguin, run! All right, that's probably enough messing around and playing with the trains.
I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's a great addition.
Yeah, and this is like
cool
hot
game.
off the presses. It's like brand new as of this month. That's like only existed for 17 days.
So let me ask you then, since we kind of had a chance to really uncover a lot of these mechanics. I mean, maybe there's some that we haven't covered, but what do you think works really well with this game, and what do you think could be improved about this, like in terms of the game mechanics, or anything in general, really? I mean, it could be UI, it could be color.
Well, sidebar. I think the UI is probably the weakest part of the game.
Which is probably normal. It's probably one of the most challenging things in terms of design for these types of games.
Yeah, but in terms of like things it does really well, progression I think is pretty strong. Like it's got a clear. You have a process. You have the quest log. You have a series of trying to get through all of these quests, get all the reindeer, get all the elves. can kind of do them in your own order, and it's mostly benefited by exploring the island, which is really great. Because I like exploring, and so that feels very good and natural to me. The progression of tools feels pretty good, from the gingerbread axe to the shovel, the lollipop pickaxe, and the hammer, with the one caveat that I don't like, that the only thing that you have to switch back for is the axe. I wish that there was something... I mean, maybe I'm just lazy about switching my tools, but like... Because I was immediately like, well, maybe you should always have to switch to a different tool for a different thing. But like, no, actually, I just like walking around with a hammer and smashing everything. But, yeah, I don't know. It just, that whole process of switching items is really the weakest thing for me. Of like, and it's not even that big of a deal. It really isn't that big of a deal. It's just something to get used to that I don't immediately love. But so much of this is fun, like all of the different things you can build is nice. I like that there's not much here. I like that it's not trying to be more than what it is. It's a simple play in 2 hours, save Christmas, and then play with the toy that is the building system. I like all of that.
It's like a $5 game. And
oh
it
yeah,
does everything you wish and hope it could be. I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You know, it's a lot of fun. I think like sometimes, like you get these games that are trying to be more than they are, like you said, and are like trying to do so much dynamically, or like a lot of the things can kind of get lost. Like things can start to feel repetitive just because they're being like, you know, maybe it takes forever to get the item that you want, or you have to kind of grind to get to a level to get to the next part. Where this is just like, you're always moving on to the next step, almost immediately. Like there's always like purposeful like movement between the different quests, between getting items, between building items, and even discovery, that some of the like sandbox games I've seen that just kind of, you know, it's there, but you have to really work a long time. And, you know, if that's the kind of game you want to spend a lot of time exploring, you know, not to specify a certain game, but the wastelands and get the item that you want. You're not spending hours just kind of grinding away. But there's, you know, like, I think a lot to kind of unfold in a short amount of time that's, I feel, just as enjoyable, just because it's kind of all-encompassing in a short amount of time. But there's a lot to kind of dig through, too.
Look what I just found. You can
snow.
You can manually play snow.
Now you can dispose of some
Use
of that
mouse
snow.
wheel to change style.
Style?
Using the mouse wheel, but it does not seem to be changing style. I think that's just in general.
It may not be for that item.
Yeah, I think that's just the general
is it
rule.
that... Do you see that some of the snow is like bumpy and some of it's not?
I think that's mostly patterned.
Okay.
Maybe it does change it. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like you won't know until you actually place it because it's so soft.
Oh no, actually, it's very subtle. But if I move through it really quick, you can kind of almost see it. But yeah, you can't actually pick which one of them it is. Okay. No, yeah, you can't actually change the style of it. It's just very subtle. I like the layers. I like that you can have the chocolate or the tree, and then you have the snow, and then you have an item under the snow. I like that a lot. I think that's really great. Yeah, I really like that. I almost wish there was a little more of that, like more interesting things to find, or even like you can, because one of the things that you have to do on the quest is you have to build buildings so that elves come. It'd be fun if somewhere there's actually buried houses left over from the old village that you could like uncover, and then they'll start functioning. I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that can be, at this point in the development of this game, the build of this game, could be added on later that could be really unique. Like they talked about finding the reindeer in caves. Like maybe it's a point in time that you could actually have a separate location open up that loads a different level. And maybe that's a cave, or maybe that's like Santa's workshop, or maybe that's like the inside of a home or something like that. Those little things that now you can add on top of it might be kind of unique if, you know, they are purposeful for the story, the mechanics.
Another interesting idea would potentially be to extrapolate out the core pieces of the game into more generic components, and you could reuse the same like set of mechanics in a totally different themed game. So like you could use this as almost a template for then creating some other kind of more interesting, more in-depth world. Because I feel like this one of itself has so much charm in that it's so self-contained and like it's themed well. If you added too much extra to it, I think it might actually start taking away from it rather than adding to it. But if you could take the underlying tech, all of the work that went into building the mechanics and everything, I feel like you could pretty easily port this over to give it new art assets, and then there you go. You suddenly have a whole new platform for building a world.
Well, that, and without a lot of like initial building work to create that too.
Right.
So hopefully you can make it in a short amount of time, at least initially. And that's the cool thing, is like you could make a Halloween version of this, or you could make a whole new story that's just about, kind of like Stardew Valley has their own underlining story. But the mechanics are fun in and of itself. And I think that's what's kind of neat, is like we talked about how this is and isn't like Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the mechanics are similar, but they are different. It does start to feel like its own thing. So, like you said, maybe extrapolating those mechanics and those designs, but just filling them in with either different quests or, you know, maybe the same way these items work, but as a different, like, item, right? Like, so you've got the hammer, but what if, you know, let's just talk about if there's it was because we were just talking about this game before we went on the call, but like, Deep Rock Galactic, what if there's dwarves in a cave and they're mining stuff, right? You could switch the hammer out, or the pickaxe, to like something else that's like a pickaxe, or literally pickaxe and hammer, and create kind of a cool fun game that way, right? So yeah, you could do a lot of different things, just kind of like taking these designs and kind of running with them and having fun. So yeah, I love it. Yeah, I really do love like taking themes that people are really familiar with Christmas and just like running with it. Because you do start to find, like, you know, it's real easy just to kind of move through those themes a little bit. Ooh. I'll never get past this part. Maybe not. Is this the infinite loop you're talking about?
No, no, it worked exactly as I was hoping it would work. Yes! Yes!
Forever.
I have mastered the mechanic. Anyway, I'm done. Let's swap out of this and go to our outro.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, overall, at the end of the day, I thought this game was a lot of fun. I had a lot of enjoyment just watching you play it, like, and just kind of seeing some of the mechanics. Like, I'm definitely gonna pick this up because it just looks like a fun little tinker game. So, yeah, great find. I think this is, you know, a good one. And as we kind of mentioned before, like, you know, we'll be getting into the new year and everything coming up. This is our last event of the year. But we're looking forward to doing more games. And if you are able to join our Discord. So let me see if I can post that in the channel.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
we do this, try to do this every month if we can. These Let's Play. It's the third
Third
Sunday, third or
Sundays.
fourth
Yep.
Sunday usually of the month, and we
Depending on
try to
where
get
our
everybody
prototype
involved.
and play is.
Yes. So I'll put our Discord in the channel. But yeah, join us. We have a Let's Play channel that we post, and usually we try to work to get a game that you all choose, right? So if you're interested in seeing some of the games come up and us review them, and if you want to be a part of them, we always are interested in folks joining our meetings. We do stream these live, so just to take a note on that. But if you're like, hey, I thought this game would be fun to play with you guys, then we'd be happy to have you. So, but overall, had a lot of fun today. We had an amazing, like I said in the beginning of this call, amazing year for 2021. Very
Yeah.
excited to see all the involvement in our groups. We, did more with our website. We did a lot more with like our different events. So it was great to see everybody. We've got a lot
Discord's been
more.
hopping.
Yes, we started that in 2020, and now we're like, I forget what is it. I could check real quick. We have, yeah, 435 members now, which,
That's
is
awesome.
nothing to, that's pretty cool just to kind of
That's really
like
cool. Yeah.
in about a little over a year and a half, like get up to that many people is really, really cool. So excited to see more of that, just kind of getting more people involved and really just progressing the game communities locally and externally.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah, real excited to see all that. But yeah, if you have suggestions, we've got a couple of things we're working on the back end to kind of revamp our Discord, do some updates with our community. So keep an eye on that. Um, and we'll keep you posted. So, and if you have more ideas of what you guys would like, just let us know. And
Yes. And I will throw out that Global Game Jam is around the corner. We'll have more on that later.
yes, very soon. Obviously, because it's coming up soon. And you haven't noticed, I think it's, when is it? Just as a little tidbit, and we'll give you more information, more
Yeah,
physical
yeah.
or
We don't have to do any
information.
formal announcements right now, Wes. I don't want to put you on the spot. Well, we're gathering our information, we're putting it together, but just so you all know, we are working on it,
Yeah.
and that will be announced soon.
Yep. Yep. So keep you posted.
But the dates
But
should
yeah,
already be
more.
up on the Global Game Jam website, so
Yeah.
those are already available. But and so it will be on those
This
dates.
this year is January 20th through the 30th. So keep you guys posted on that. But yeah, I guess any final notes that you want to talk about, Caleb, before we
No,
sign off for today?
no, I think we're good. Thank you all again. Have an exceptional holidays. Thank you so much for being part of COG. We love all of you and are so grateful to be a part of this incredible community. And we look forward to all of the. I'm so excited. All of the games that you're gonna make or
Yes.
continue making. I mean, you've done incredible work this year. I am legitimately floored, and I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to what everybody's gonna do next. It's quite a privilege to be able to see it.
And
And
just as
yeah,
a note, I'll post it in the chat. If you've got a game you want us to showcase, go to the cog.com/games and we would love to promote it. So we do get those. I got to double check if I've got the Google form updated, but I check those like once a month and just make sure if there's a new post, if you want a game posted on that website, we'll put it up. It just does a little questionnaire on that site, and then we put up a little card of your game, and then we showcase that wherever we are.
mhm.
So keep us posted. But yeah, if nothing else, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with us this year. We're excited to see you guys next year. As Caleb said, happy holidays. Wherever you are, be happy, safe, and healthy. And we'll see you guys next time. So the next one will be our prototype and play, which is January, should be January 14th.
Mhm.
So we'll see you guys then. So, but yeah, thanks for coming out, stopping by. And if nothing else, Caleb,
Yeah.
I think
Well,
we'll you guys next time.
Bye.